Hi, my name is Roy Canterbury. I'm going to be your host today on Archery Talk 101, and we have a guest on the show with us today. We'll get started with that. Just a little bit of note up front. You can watch the podcast on my YouTube channel, Learn to Fix It Yourself, or probably the best place to go is Archery Talk 101 Facebook group because there we have all kinds of archers in there that know all kinds of stuff about archery, and if you have questions, place to go for answers. You can listen to it on uh, wherever you get your podcast on Spotify, a place like that, as well as Audible. So now we've got that out of the way. Let's start with the show. We have a special guest with us. How about if you introduce yourself and tell us a little something about you?
Hello, my name is Čaba. I am from Serbia. I am obviously a hunter and archer. I do hunting all of my life. I used to hunt with my father, and that's just in our family, and it's our tradition, and I continue it. I started to hunt with an bow and arrow few years ago. For us in Serbia, it wasn't so easy to hunt with bow and arrow because we have some regulations. We need to have a license for the bow, like for the rifle, and it was a little bit complicated. But from 2016, we can buy all archery equipment without that permissions, and I started to do archery and uh, and of course hunting because I am a long year hunter. I hunt a lot, and I start to hunt with a bow and arrow, and now it's only bow and arrow for me because rifle hunting is in compare with bow hunting something that is not so interesting anymore for me. And yes, I do a lot of hunting, and I start some outfitting business also, and now it's everything related with the business, with everything in my life is hunting.
So, what's the name of your outfitting business?
It's wild hunter.
Okay, and you mostly just do hunts in Serbia, or you do um, other places, or where all do you go?
I started with Serbia, but I stopped with Serbia because it's everything in Serbia is a little bit complicated. I do only Africa. I take hunters from Serbia to Africa, and I do only that. That's not my primary business. I do construction business. This is my secondary business. I try to put together hunting and pleasure, and that's my secondary business. Uh, for now, I hope I could make it primary, but for now, my primary business is construction business, and I do this for my pleasure, and also I have some benefits from that. And yes, I do only Africa now because it's a lot easier to do few hunts a year for a little bit uh, uh, little bigger hunts than in Serbia. In Serbia is it's small game hunting, and I used to do small outfitting for small game hunting, and it's uh, as I said, a little bit complicated because of the all the regulations and the laws in Serbia, and I just stopped. I do Africa now.
That's kind of interesting. You're over in Africa now, guiding hunts over there, and I bet there's a lot of interesting stories you have of hunts over there. And um, in Serbia, what kind of animals do they hunt? It looks like you have a deer hanging in the background there, but can't see the whole thing, so I'm not sure.
No,
Oh no, that's not a
that's
deer.
blue
Okay.
wildebeest.
Oh, blue wildebeest. Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's blue
Good.
wildebeest. I have some red stacks in my house. We hunt a lot of different games in Serbia. We have red stag, we have wild boars, we have roe deer. That's that's the big game we have. We have fallow deer, but fallow deer is just in the fenced areas. Uh, Mostly we hunt mostly wild boars. We have a lot of wild boars, and that's the the species that is easiest to hunt in Serbia.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of places that the wild boars you get in there and they just kind of take over and they decimate everything. And there are places here in the States where they just go at night with the night vision and just shoot all of them they can. And I've seen pictures of them in helicopters with guns flying over them,
Mm.
just shooting them as they go, and because they're just getting so invasive. And
Yeah,
that's one of those animals that can do that.
it's not like that now in Serbia. We had some disease. It's called African plague, and we have a lot of damage on the wild boar population, and we almost had lost all the wild boars in Serbia, and now it's a little bit coming back. It's a little bit stopping with the disease, and it's going. The population is again going. The number of population is going up because it's very important in Serbia to have wild boars for hunt. That's amusement for a lot of hunters, and it was a bit of problem with that disease.
Yeah, it kind of decimates your main hunting source and or animal, and now that
Yeah.
they're coming back now, hopefully you can have enough hunts to keep them managed so that they don't overtake, like they can do so easy. They
Uh,
have a litter of a bunch of them in their each of their litters and can easily take over an area.
it's a little bit different in Serbia. We don't have that kind of population, and this subspecies of wild pigs are a little bit different than yours, and there was never too much problem with the population, and there is some damage. They make some damage, but it's not the way they do in like they do in America.
Well, that's kind of nice to know that you have a species that's not gonna just take over and you still provide some good hunts and some good food and um, I imagine the wild boars over there taste like pork like they do just about anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't taste. I didn't eat a lion. For me, the boar is the king of the animals. The pig is the king of the animals. It's the tastiest animal I eat.
So you think that out of the animals that you've hunted and tasted, the pig is the most tastiest one that you've had then, huh?
Probably yes. Fallow deer is very tasty. It's very nice to eat, but for me, the wild boar is number one.
It's kind of all the different options you have and between the all the African animals and so in Serbia, tell us about probably your most memorable hunt you had over in Serbia. Um,
Most memorable hunt. I think that's always a bird hunting because it's with the friends and with the dogs, and we hunt pheasants, we hunt quails, and I think that's the most rememberable hunts when in the autumn and in the winter we start to hunt pheasants and go with friends, and it's always a nice uh, nice occasion. We make it not just hunt. It's like reunion with old friends, and every hunt like that is is for remembering. It always is very good.
yeah, I guess I didn't realize you had pheasants and quail over there. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of pheasants. We are farming them and letting them out to the wild, and quails also. We have a lot of quails. It's very good for the guys like to hunt with dogs. We hunt mostly with the German short-haired pointers, and it's very, very, very nice to hunt. It's easy to hunt. You don't have to pay anything extra. You just have to be a hunter and go out to hunt.
That's kind of interesting. Do you have turkeys over there as well?
No, we don't have turkeys in the wild. We only farm them in in the countryside, and there is no wild turkeys in Serbia.
Well, I was just I guess I'd never even thought about it. So it was like, okay, I had to ask, is
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because get the pheasant quail over here, you have the different kind of deal. You got your hogs, a lot of variety of stuff to hunt over there. And so you say it's got a little bit better for the archery, and before it was more difficult to get the equipment or getting
It
the permits
was
to hunt.
Yeah, it was difficult to get equipment. Now we can get equipment, but it's still not the regulations for the bow hunting is still not good for the hunters. You can hunt in Serbia with a bow and arrow, but only in the fenced areas. We have fenced areas where you have to go in and pay to hunt, and that's only way you can hunt with a bow and arrow. But I go to countries next to Serbia. I go to Hungary, go to hunt in Africa with a bow, but in Serbia, only legal place to hunt is a fenced areas. It's still not good situation for the bow hunters in Serbia, and we don't have a lot of bow hunters in Serbia. Number of bow hunters, hey, we have. I think I know personally all of them, so it's not a big number of bow hunters. We have archery in Serbia in developing. It's more and more people doing archery. That's also not a good number. It's a very low number with guys doing archery, but it's starting to be better in bigger numbers. But hunting is still problematic in Serbia. You cannot hunt so easy in Serbia with a bow and arrow.
So you're building the target archery community is building up in there then.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's target archery is more and more people doing that, and it's good progress, but it's very, very, very slow progress.
Well, like everything else, it'll get there eventually. It just sometimes just takes a long time to get there and a lot
Yeah,
longer than you really want it to.
we are getting older and older.
Yeah. Get the kids involved in it, right?
Yeah, my son is hunting with me also, and he's in that path, and a lot of young boys are starting with hunting. It's tradition here. We are a nation, meat-eating nation, and we hunt, and we don't have that thing a lot here to look at the hunt like something you killing something, you are killer. No, it's here. It's very usual to be hunter, and it's not it's not it's it's good because the youngs are hunting. There is no we always have new hunters.
That's good. Keep the kids involved in it. Uh, do they have a lot of youth programs in archery to get kids started in it, or is it more just your dad and grandpa and mom and grandma get into it and bring the kids
We
in,
have
or
we have some programs, but that also is not supported good enough from the government. It's mostly from fathers and grandfathers uh, taking kids to hunt to the nature, and that's the way they start to hunt. Not a lot of government support for that.
well, I think that's kind of the best way is let the parents and
Yeah,
grandparents do it and that way they can be taught correctly and not have to worry about anything. They just learn the way it goes and go from there and kind of
yeah,
nice
that's
that you
all.
Yeah, a
That's always
nice
the best
history.
way.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a good way to go and keep it going down. Just a like you said, a family tradition, and you get together with your family and go for a hunt and enjoy some good food, and it sure beats all the processed stuff that all the city kids seem to want to eat.
Yeah, it's that when it's about healthy food and healthy way to provide food for your family. It's the hunting is really the number one, and for me, it was always like that. All of my life, the best meat comes from the hunt.
Yeah, there's just something about it that's a little different. You don't have all the chemicals in it that you do in the commercial food, and really makes it nice that you have that good quality meat, and you're always going to be able to get food on the table.
Yeah, that's also what I like in Africa. Everything we hunt, everything we eat, everything is on the table, and that's uh, that's the way it should be.
So tell us about some of your Africa hunts that either you've been on or you've taken some of your customers on, and
It's mostly for the clients. I do I do outfitting. I take the clients, and when I have some spare time, I made some hunts for myself, and it's always not enough time for me because of the business. But I hunt. As you see, I have blue wildebeest, I have impalas, I have warthogs, and that kind of animals, smaller animals, and that's what I used to hunt with a bow. Everything I hunt everything with a bow now. There, I don't take rifle in my hand anymore.
so what are the requirements for the archery equipment when you're hunting over there?
Uh, for the permissions and the legal stuff, it's almost nothing. You can just bring your bow and hunt. In South Africa, it's nobody is asking about your permit for bow or anything like that. You just bring your bow, go down to the range, show them you are accurate and your equipment is good enough, and you can hunt.
Is there any kind of weight restriction on the draw weight you need to pull, or the arrow weight, or anything?
I think it's the 50 pound in the most areas is the minimum of the weight for these smaller animals. Smaller animals. I talk about these kind of animals like blue wildebeest, the maximum. I think it's 50 pound, the 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 limitation.
And most people that are going to go there and hunt big animals, I would imagine they're going to be pulling yeah, at least 50 or 60 or maybe even 70. You know, to go over there and do that, you want to have, you know,
Yeah,
enough
I
that you,
hunt.
you can sufficiently get a good penetration.
Yeah, I hunt with 80 pounds, so I
Oh,
don't have problem.
yeah, I always hunted with 70, and that's for around here. We got whitetail, and that's plenty
Yeah,
for a whitetail. But I just like shooting the 70 pounds over the 60. I just seem to shoot better at it, and of course I didn't have a real heavy arrow. My hunting arrows are only about a little over 400 grains, so it's not a real heavy arrow, but it does a good enough job on deer.
yeah, it's good enough. I used to hunt with 70 pounds, and in one moment I just wanted to try 80 pound, and I get new limbs for my bow. I have Coit 1 to 33, and I just ordered the new limbs, and I try 80 pound, and it's equal for pulling for like 70 pounds. I don't have any problem to pull back. I can pull 100 times in a row, and I decided to just to go for 80 pounds. For me, it's if I can, I will do it as the heaviest weight there is. It's always better to have more power and
Right.
never enough power. And it's uh, it's just when they ask me why, because I can. That's only reason.
Yeah, and like they say, I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it, right?
Yeah, oh, it's always like that. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can, you can pull the 70 pounds and, not be struggling back with it. And I've seen some pulling weight and they go through all kinds of gyrations to get it up there and they're moving around and they finally get it back and they're struggling to hold it back. And it's like, they aren't going to wait for you to do that kind of stuff. You got to be able to smoothly go back. And I always tell new archers, like, if you can't slow it back like a deer drop back slowly enough that if a deer is watching, you can get it back, it's too much weight for you. And you just got to build up to it. And if you do a lot of shooting, you can build up pretty good.
Yeah, we that's the best practice for the building up the muscles for the pulling back, the practicing. It's everything about the practice. There is no special workout to build up the muscles. The only workout is pulling back your bow. For me, that's enough.
Yeah, you can kind of somewhat simulate them to build some strength, but the best way to do it, is once you can get your bow back, then just keep shooting it, and it'll
Yeah.
eventually work up. I know uh my first compound I bought it was set at 52 pounds, and I'm shooting and shooting, and it'd go up to 70. I wanted to go 70, but it's like it took me forever just to get to 60 pounds and then 62. And then about just after about 62, then it just went all up to 70. But it took quite a while of shooting before I could even get up there to increase it because, just, half a turn on the limbs and be shooting for a while and half a turn on the limbs and, half at a time. And then I, finally got it to 70 and, that's where all my bows have been set at 70. And now as I get a
Yeah.
little older, I'm not sure if I can maintain that 70, but
Uh, I will probably put down the weight in a few years. Now I am physically feeling myself strong enough, and it always been like that. I have do some sports and been physically strong enough for that. And my first pulling back the bow, it was in some archery shop here in Serbia, our only archery shop, and they give me a 60-pound bow, and I pulled it back and I said, okay, now give me 70 pounds. And it was very easy for me, and I started with the 70 pounds, no problem.
yeah,
And
you're lucky if you can do that. Not everybody has the strength, naturally the strength to do that. And I think it's always funny when you get a small guy that's shooting 70 pounds, you get a gripping football player that can't even pull it back. It's like you're big and strong, but yet it's not the archery muscles, because we
yeah,
use different muscles in archery, and you develop those back muscles in archery, and you can be a weightlifter, but you never work those muscles.
yeah, but I have done a lot of homework before my first pulling back the bow. I saw and watched a lot of videos on YouTube how you should do that. And
Yeah,
I think first time when I pulled back my bow, and I think it was the correct way, and that's why I'm pulling it so easy for the
yeah.
first time. Yeah. And also the guys in the archery shop said, "Oh, you already done archery?" No, I did not. I watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Well, that can be, a lot of help provided they know what they're doing. There's a lot of videos out there that don't know what they're doing. They're showing you bad habits, and um, I've been seeing a lot of videos pop up. Some of the little shorts and reels and stuff, and some of the drawback, and it's like, okay, I know they're going to cram on that trigger, and sure enough, like boom, they just their fingers out there, and they just yank on that trigger, and
Yeah,
well, you've been
it's
teaching as long as I have. It's like, okay, I know they're not gonna do very good, and they do okay on their shots, but It's like, okay, give me half hour, 45 minutes, and I'll tighten your groups up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that. And you hunt mostly wild-tailed deers in America?
Yeah, a lot of whitetails, turkeys, is kind of the two main, you know, targets, whitetails and, I get out in the western part of states of Central America, eastern part of Nebraska have mule deer. But that's pretty much in Nebraska, mule deer or whitetail. And I'm on the eastern side of Nebraska, and there's no mule deer over this far. They're more out further west, but that's Maine. Then when you go down south, then there's a little bit different species of deer. They're a little smaller. Um, our fawns are about the size of their adults. Um, they're just a smaller animal, and between that and then turkeys, and of course hogs. You can always hunt hogs around here, and then of course Texas has a lot of ranches that have some of your exotic animals there that you can hunt. A lot of those are fenced in as well, but you get 5,000 acres and you get an 8 foot fence so they can't jump over. Yeah, they're not fenced in. And you
Yeah, I
got that
know.
much land. Yeah, that's not fenced in. A lot of them. I've heard songs like, well, it's KG, you just go in and shoot. Well, no, not when you've got that many acres. If you have 5 acres and you've got 100 animals in there, yeah, you're pretty much you just pick one and shoot it. But when you've got that much land and they're still running wild, they're not caged in, and you still have to hunt them. And I know we had an area down here by the river that they hunted all the time, and uh, they once they started hunting, they didn't used to hunt down at the forest, and the people were saying that, well, it'll just be, just pick one and shoot one, and they had the cover so eaten up that back in the 60s you couldn't see 20 yards. Well, you could see 100 yards now because anything a deer could reach to 8. So they started having hunts in there. And I talked to one of the guys that actually hunted. Day one, yeah. Day two, you hunt them like any other wild animal. It took them one day to figure out they were being hunted, and now they're alerted. And the first day, yeah, it was a little bit easier the first day, but he said after that, not didn't matter. They they
Yeah.
they had that paranoid um, nature about them, and you had to hunt them like you would any place else.
Yeah, I hunt in fenced areas in Serbia, wild boars and fallow deers, and I go there like in the grocery store. I go for my meat. And a lot of times I have some arguing with the other hunters. They say, "Oh, you are hunting in the fenced areas." I'm okay. I am hunting in fenced areas, but I go there like to the grocery store. I go to buy my meat. I don't go in the butcher shop. I go there and I kill my meat, I process my meat, and that's the only reason I go to hunt in fenced areas in Serbia.
Well, and you can't do archery, and archery gives you a little handicap anyway. With a rifle, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, no big deal. You just shoot. But with a bow, you're 10, 20, 30, 40 yards maybe at the most uh, for your shots. So now you got to be so much closer.
Yeah, it's a different story with the bow. We also have a lot of new technology here, a lot of thermal sights, a lot of night vision sights, and we hunt wild boars in the night, and it's no more challenge. It's just pulling the trigger. There is no lot of hunting left in that. It's just you just behind the screen and you look in that dot and pressing the trigger. It's no more. Uh, I don't like that way of the hunting. That's the main reason I stopped with the rifle hunting. And here it's everything now. These new guys starting to hunt with rifles. They just buy thermal scopes and and night visions. They hunt in the night, and it's not challenging anymore.
Yeah, it's actually easier, or it's kind of like doing it with a bow. You're in a caged in area, but yeah, you still have a lot of land that you're in, but you get that rifle, and it's not there's not really any challenge to it. And nice thing about the bow is, well, you don't have crosshairs, you don't have a rifle, you have to be up close. There's a lot of technique in it and skill in executing those shots, and kind of taking away. Not that I have anything against shooting rifles. I I do it. I hunt with rifles as well as shotguns and bows, but like you, I prefer the bow. It's just so much more fun, and you get so
And
much
for
closer to them.
and for me, that meat is tasting better.
Yeah. Yeah. When you get them with the bow, it's real nice and tasty. And unfortunately, my last deer I got with my car, so um, yeah, it's real tasty. And what
Yeah,
it
when
cost me for it.
so it was expensive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's expensive, a deer, when you crush up your car. And it was a little Toyota, so it did a number on it.
Yeah, but there is no wasting of meat.
No,
Everything goes to the freeze.
yeah, it's in the freezer. It was all cut up, and most of it was vacuum sealed that day. And the next a couple days later, I finished up the back straps and a couple of other pieces, and it's in the freezer. And I had some yesterday, and the day before I had some of the back straps, and those are pretty good. About a minute or so on each side, and they're fairly thin, so a minute or so each side, and a little bit of brown, and most of it is pretty much it was warmed up.
Yeah, you like to cook meat rare or a little bit
Yeah,
better cooked?
if you do well done with deer, it ends up being real tough and almost tastes like liver. So I like it a little bit medium rare. I normally like it just a little bit more cooked than the last couple of times, but I just didn't. I cooked it till it got brown on one side, flipped it over, cooked it brown on the other side. But it was only like maybe a half inch thick at most, so it wasn't real thick. So I didn't want to overcook it because I knew that'd be terrible.
Yeah,
But it was nice. It's nice and tender and easy to chew. And
yeah, the game meat is the best. I'll also cook all the meat except the wild boars. I cook everything rare, and we like it. We like the taste of the meat, not too cooked, and not uh,
yeah,
everything is better rare.
yeah. Unfortunately, the boar you really can't do it rare, but a lot of people still overcook them. You just need them cooked all the way through. You don't need them dried out, and that's what happens a lot of time when you cook a pork, is it ends up drying out because you cook it too much.
Yeah, I do it. I do it mostly. I just sear it up in the pan, and then it goes for the slow cooking in the oven and something like that. I always do big pieces of wild boar, and it's always searing up and then slow cooking.
Yeah, keeps it from being tough and dried out.
Yeah, that's the best way for me.
So, what's probably been the most challenging uh, hunt you've taken that you've guided somebody on? Where they really struggled with it, and
Uh, it was the most struggle is with the roe deer hunt. I used to do roe deer hunting in Serbia, take clients to roe deer hunting, and it's always the most difficult thing uh, to see what is the trophy value of the roe deer in because it's small trophy, and it's not easy to judge what how big is the trophy, and the price point from the small roe deer to the bigger, it's the size of the antlers is not a big difference, but the price is very much different, and you have to be good in judging the size of the trophy, because the clients want what he wants, and
Right.
it's very difficult to present him the exactly what he wants, and that's the most challenging thing I did in that kind of hunting, in the outfitting business.
Yeah, I guess if you really can't tell a whole lot of difference, like in the antlers, you know, that's takes a lot of skill to know the difference. They're just variation. With the
Yeah,
whitetails, it's like it's obvious. You get a big trophy one, it's going to be obvious that it's a big trophy one, and you get a little small one, but yeah, when you can't really tell much difference, there's not much difference. I know it took me a long time before I finally figured out how to tell if it's an adult or a fawn. And one of those hunting shows actually made a mistake and told how to tell. Because when I first started, I had no idea how to tell if it was an adult or fawn. And later on, when the one show taught us, it's like you look between the nose and the back of the head, where's the eyes? If it's halfway, then it's a fawn. If it's further to the back of the skull, then it's an adult. It's like, oh, okay, I can figure that out. Yeah,
that,
I can't, I didn't know, because you really can't tell when you're first starting out. You don't know what it is. And, I'd hate to have been on a guided hunt and come up and shoot a fawn where, I could have waited for another one. It's like if I'd have known, um, you know, I didn't have that problem, but I know I took my daughter hunting the first time. I told her, it's like, well, the first year, go ahead and shoot it. Don't worry about if it's adult or fawn. After that, we'll talk about letting the fawns walk. And of course, when a doe and a fawn came in, and she shot the doe. But then, your first year, don't worry about what it is. You don't have to go out and shoot a trophy buck. In fact, that's probably the worst thing you could do is shoot a great big trophy on your first time, because then you think it's easy, and it's
yeah,
not. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
it,
It is very difficult to judge what is the age of the animal, what is the trophy value, and that's here it's the most important thing that the guide have to know, because it's it's very very important to shoot the adult, the old animal. It's not good to shoot young animals. We have very strict management of roe deers here, and we try to do the best for the taking out the older animals, and it's paying off. A lot of good trophies, a lot of mature animals, old animals, and old animal is equal heavy trophy, good trophy, and it's very important to have that kind of knowledge, and it's that's also starting to be a little bit better here, because earlier we didn't have this much trophy hunting in Serbia. We just hunt. We go out and hunt, and now there is a lot of people coming from France, from Germany, from outside of Serbia for trophy hunting roe deers, because we have very good population of roe deer and very good genetics for the trophy, and it's very important to do good selection for the future, and that's
yeah,
the most important thing that the guide in Serbia must know to what animal you should shoot and you should not shoot.
that's that's definitely why you go with a guide, especially on something that's hard to tell. And then when you go and you don't really know where to find them, sometimes different areas you hunt them differently.
Yeah,
And that's where the guide's going to come in handy. And it's like, okay, what time do I need to be where, and what are we looking for, and what's the animal that we're looking for, and um, Yeah, it makes a
And
big
here,
difference.
yeah, here you cannot choose to hunt with or without guide. Here the regulation says you must hunt with a guide. You cannot go out to shoot deer, roe deer, red deer. Only the wild boars you can go to shoot without a guide, but these trophy species like red stag and follow deer and roe deer you cannot hunt without guide. And the problem is when you go out with a guide, he don't know what he's doing, and that's that's the problem. And he will present you deer that is not old enough and not good trophy quality enough, and that's the problem. And you know, and I like to go to hunt elsewhere from Serbia to Hungary to Africa, especially because I can hunt alone, and I like to hunt sometimes just on myself alone, and that's not option in Serbia.
So what's it like hunting in Hungary?
Um, I think the Hungary is the best place in Europe to hunt red stag and roe deer. They have incredible red stags, trophy quality is incredible, hunting management, everything about hunting there is professional and well done, and a lot of animals. It's not you cannot imagine uh, how is big the population of the red stag in Hungary. It's very good to hunt.
Yeah, I guess you don't really, being over here, half a world away, don't really realize what kind of hunting is around over there in Europe. And that's what's always cool about, talking to archers all over the world. I get to hear about these stories and the different places and what they hunt. And that's really cool that, Hungary has that red stag population. If you wanted to go get a trophy, get a hold of you and go to Hungary, right?
Yeah. That's the I think the number one in Europe is the Hungary for the trophy quality of the red stags. Croatia is also good, but the Hungary is the probably the number one. And yes, it's a lot different in Europe than in the United States. It's all the regulations, everything is a lot different than in the States. Uh, um, it's not that easy, and you don't have that much freedom to go out and hunt like in the United States. It's always some kind of starting and getting back point. You cannot just take your license and hunting permit and go out and hunt. You always have to check in somewhere, check out somewhere, and it's a lot of difference in that in that stuff about going out to hunt.
So if somebody was wanting to come over there, say like from the States, to go on a hunt over there, what would they need to do and prepare and to be able to do that?
You only have to bring your hunting license. I don't know exactly how it looks like there in States, but you have to bring your license to permit to have a weapon, and you you need to have someone here to arrange where you're going to hunt and check you in and stuff like that. But there is not there is nothing special you need to bring from the States. Only the permit for the rifle if you hunt with a rifle.
Now, if you're going to do archery, then you wouldn't, we don't
For
have
the,
uh, we have our hunting license we hunt here, but it's only good for, you know, the season in the state we're in. We don't need a license to purchase an archery equipment or even black powder equipment,
for
just the firearms.
yeah, for the archery you don't need anything. You just need to bring your bow, nothing else.
Just get your passport, get your bow and your equipment,
That's
and get a hold of somebody over there that knows the laws and where to go hunt, and get yourself a guide. And because I would hate to go over there and say, okay, I'm going to go hunt in Hungary. I want a red stag. And I have no clue where to go. So yeah, you would need a guide, at least someone that knows the area and where you can go, and make sure you follow all the laws, because each country and each state's going to have their own laws. Here in the States, with one state to another, the laws are different on, just in archery hunting, and the
yeah.
seasons are different, and the check-in process is different, and everything's so you just need to know what's going on when you get there. And the last thing I'd want to do is show up. It's like, well, where do I go? We got a guide, but all the guides are busy. So now I spent a week over there trying to find a guide and no hunting.
Yeah, here it's in Europe. It's everything about making appointments and making arrangements with the local people. Everywhere where you go to hunt, you need local people. You cannot go anywhere in Europe to hunt without having someone local, because uh, the regulations here are like that. The locals are the ones who have the right to hunt. You cannot just show up and buy a permit and go to hunt.
So you really don't have any public hunting areas over there then, do you?
Uh, yeah, there are public hunting areas, but there are groups that manage that area, and you cannot hunt without having them noticed, or without having them make appointments for the hunt and taking a license for you.
Well, that's good to know. Anybody's getting ready to go over there. That's good information to know that you got to make arrangements before you even leave. Probably way in advance too.
Yeah, as I said, it's a lot different in Europe. Everything is about hunting is managed different than in States, but it's different culture, different everything is a lot of different, and it's good, and in the other way, it's not so good. You don't have that freedom, as I said. My dream hunt is backpack hunting, where I can go out in the wild for 5 6 days. That's not possible here. You have to check in that day, and you have to check out from the field that same day, and you cannot go anywhere out for a few days and stay out in the wild and hunt. That's the bad thing about Europe.
Yeah, each place is different. Just need to know what the laws are. And I know here there's public hunting lands that, as long as you got your tag and the right weapon for that area, you just go walk on and hunt. Of course, you
Yeah,
might have a lot of other people out there doing the same thing, but it's some there are some areas that are managed, but most of them are the public areas are there. But I think most hunting is done on a lot of private property, where you just go to the owner of the property and get permission to hunt, and then you go on, and you don't have anybody monitoring you, checking in, checking out, and there's kind of nice both ways.
yeah. That's the type that's the type of the freedom we need here to be able to go out to hunt whenever you want or whenever you can, because of your permit, and not be uh, uh, you, that you don't have to check in every time. It's That type of freedom is for me the best way to hunt, and my dream hunt is probably somewhere in the States, backpack elk hunting. So that that is something that I would like to do someday.
Yeah, that'd be most likely in Colorado. 'Cause that's where there's a lot of elk, and you can get in there, and there's a lot of land you can hunt there. But you're going up and down mountains, and you can get lost pretty easy in those mountains.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's always a possibility in the mountains.
Yeah, a good compass and a good map that definitely helps out a lot because you can figure out where you're at and then use the compass and figure your way back out because they can it can get pretty turned around, especially if you get up there and you're at night and you have to spend the night somewhere. And best thing to do is just pitch yourself a little camp and stay because you need to always have be prepared to spend the night. I always had enough stuff that I could spend the night even out in the field when it's might only be 200 yards from the vehicle. But I still have stuff that if I had to, I could survive overnight because yeah, I've done that, been out in an area that I'm familiar with and get turned around and it's like I don't know where I'm at. It's like where am I at? I did that once going in. I had my tree stand in and I just walk right to my tree stand. Well, I had a buddy and I had a tree stand that was straight in from right that instead of going to the right to go to my stand. So I took it and said, oh, I'm gonna cut right over to my tree stand. I walked underneath my tree stand and did not know it. I completely missed it. It got further up north and it's like, this is further north of my tree stand. So I started walking back and it's like, now I'm way south of my tree stand. So I said, okay, river's over there. I'm parked over there. So I walked out back to the road, back where I normally go and walk straight to my tree stand. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I went a little bit different way. I got sidetracked and I knew the area fairly well, so I knew where I was at. So I wasn't like I was gonna have to, try and figure out. And it was the middle of the night, so it still wasn't light yet. So once the light come up, I could have found my tree stand, but I'd be, in the way of the deer hunting that from my buddy I just put in the tree stand. Yeah, that's why I'd like to get in there plenty early. And it's I got to my tree stand, I was still in there plenty early, but still,
so you hunt from the tree stand a lot?
yeah. I prefer out of a tree stand or a ladder stand, an elevated platform, just because I can see more and I don't have to worry about, being, in a blind. There's a lot of blind spots in there. You can't really see, but you can move around a little bit more because you're protected. And, in some of the winters around here it can get pretty cold. The nice thing about in a blind is that you're a little bit warmer and you can bring yourself a little bit of heater and heat it up in there a little bit. And so now you don't have to wear your great big old coats. But um, I still prefer up in a ladder stand or a hang on stand.
Yeah, that's a good way to hunt. Here in my area, here in Serbia, it's everything is flat. We don't have here hills, mountains, or anything here. It's flat, like a plate, and we don't have that much trees here, and it's mostly from hunting from the ground, and we have some stands made from the woods, and something like that. And but it's mostly for me. I hunt mostly from the ground.
No, you just kind of like spotting and stalking, or do you set up a ground blind or
No, just spot and stock.
so that makes
That's
it a little bit more challenging, even if it's in a fenced in area, because you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
get pretty close.
yeah. That's the way I like the most. I cannot sit a lot in one spot. I have to move around, and that's my way of hunting.
Yeah, I grew up, and now I prefer to sit, let them come to me. It's as you get older, you don't like to do all that walking anymore.
Yeah, I will probably do like that in few years.
Yeah, like I remember pheasant hunting, and tromping through snow that was about knee deep. So you'd pick your foot up and it'd sink all the way down the bottom, and you're dredging through them. And now just walking through just a plain field is enough work that yeah, I don't want to do that anymore.
This is my little dog. You see?
Yeah, I got a little buddy with you.
Yeah, she's here. She's here behind my back, and she's she's annoying me. She don't know what I'm doing.
They do that. We got a cat also one day. I was doing something else and the cat just jumped up in my lap, and I think I had something in my hand, and it's like I just jumped, and everybody on the Zoom call is like, "Oh, what, you all right?" Yeah, my cat just hopped up on my lap and didn't expect it.
Last time I went to Africa, my one of the guides there had a little Jack Russell with him, and that little dog was just just so good companion in the car in the hunt, and it was incredible how that dog is moving around with his owner and go through the field, not making any noise, not scaring any animals, and it was great. And I would just get one. This it's not Jack Russell, but it's a similar little dog. It's a Dutch wired hair Dachshund.
Sometimes they can be, kind of nice to have them along with you, kind of little companionship, and sometimes they can actually help alert on different things. You get dogs that are trained to alert on all kinds of different things. The people with disabilities, a lot of times they'll be trained to, alert when certain conditions are there, and it's amazing, what that dog can do. Um,
Yeah, all my life I have a dog. I have dog for hunting. I have dog in my yard and in the backyard, and I always get some kind of dog.
yeah, they're kind of nice to have around.
Nice little companions.
Yeah, yeah, that's always nice. Um, so what's been your hunt that you've been on over in Africa? What was kind of the most interesting hunt you did where you personally was able to hunt?
The most interesting for me was blessbock hunting. We hunted some blessbocks in the mountain area, and it was very challenging. It was very steep, and they move through that mountains like mountain goats, and it was very difficult to make situation for shooting them. And then I take it down from that little mountain where I shoot it with on my back, and that was the top experience from that. It's not any special animal. It's just a blessbock. It's not big. It's like a whitetail body size animal, but it was very challenging to get one.
Yeah, sounds like it'd be a lot of challenge just getting it, and then once you get it, it's like now you got to carry it out.
Yeah, that was without backpacks. I just put it on my back and carry it out to the car to the vehicles.
That would have been challenging.
Yeah,
What what are
that
what
was.
do they weigh?
There is somewhere around 70 kilo, 60, 70. It was a very big ram, and it was heavier than usual.
That's still pretty good sized.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I shoot a lot of warthogs there, and they are very interesting to hunt. They are very fast, and they are always always cautious, and you cannot get near to shoot them with a bow. That's very interesting to sneak up for the bow range, and very interesting to hunt them.
Yeah, the warthogs, they're pretty tough animal, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very tough, and it's not not easy to to shoot them with a bow. I had one situation where I get close to one old male, and he was just behind the bush. He was not so far away when I look out from that bush, he was looking straight at me, and I shot him with my 80-pound bow just between the eyes. And
Oh,
yeah, that's why why the 80 pound is good to have.
yeah, that's a challenging shot, but when they're looking at you, that's pretty much about all they give you, isn't it?
Yeah, that was also nice hunt. Everything is in Africa is interesting. Wherever you look, you can see a lot of different species. Every time when you go to the field, you can see 10, 15 different species and a lot of animals everywhere, and it's very very nice to see all of that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see all the different options and whether you have a tag to shoot them or not. It's interesting to to see them and watch them and Um, I know that's kind of some of the cool stories you hear sometimes is not that you actually killed the animal. It's like some of the other things that are going on, like birds landing on your feet, or deer coming up and sniffing your boots as you're sitting on the ground or something like that. And those are the kind of stories that are, really interesting and you may not have ever had a chance to even shoot them, but it's still a very cool story.
Yeah, it's not just that targeted animal, it's everything around you. Everything combined is the experience, hunting experience.
Now, what's the weather like over there in Serbia?
We have strong winters with minus 10, 15 Celsius degrees, and we have warm summers with 35 in the plus. And we have autumn, we have spring, and uh, we have some raining seasons, but it's not anything typical raining. We have all the kind of weather. It's that middle European climate here in Serbia.
Yeah, so you have all the different changes in climates and probably
Yeah,
unlike Africa where it's warm or hot, right?
in South Africa, yeah, it's not just warm and hot. You have periods with rain and temperatures a little bit colder than upper at the equator, and it's it's also very nice weather to hunt from April to September, October. Weather is very nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just perfect to hunt.
It's nice. So if you plan on going over, that'd be the time to do when it's, over here in Nebraska, in that April, August, April to May, it's not too bad. You get into August and it can be pretty hot, even in
Ap-
September.
yeah, also in Serbia also in August and June, July, and August. It can be very hot.
Yeah, it's um, definitely interesting to hear all those stories and it's just so much fun. That's why I enjoy talking with archers, all over the world and I've talked to a few archers from over there, in Croatia. I've talked to a couple from there and it's interesting to see, all the different aspects of archery, whether it be hunting and the restrictions that you have, and the building up of the target archery and just all the different animals you get to hunt and um, it's that's what you're used to over there, but it's kind of interesting, for me over here, and then every place is different, and all over the states they're all different things. Um, the thing I've noticed in every conversation I've had is, we have one thing in common, our love of archery and instant friends because we're bow hunters or archers, and that's always the cool part of archery is, if you're an archer, you automatically have a friend. No matter where you go, carry your bow, you'll find a friend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's common for all the archers talking about equipment, talking about different manufacturers, about different styles. That's common for all archers and bow hunters. That's very nice to hear different opinions, and uh, we use sit down and talk and discuss and sometimes fight about it, and it's always interesting.
Yeah, when it all comes down to the end, we're all promoting the sport of archery.
Yeah, and also with the hunting globally, it's like that. All the hunters have something something common to talk about. Is it a rifle? Is it wild game? Always something to argue and talk about.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, well, hunting's hunting. The thing is we're getting meat and we're getting good quality meat. It's not laced with chemicals or anything else, and the quality of the meat is there. And like on the deer, I don't know about some of the other animals that you have over there, but on deer, there's no fat in it because you trim off every fat you can because when you cook it, it smells bad and it tastes bad. So you strip it all off. So there's no fat in it. It's it's 100% lean meat because there's no fat in it. And if you do have fat in it, it degrades the flavor. And when you do up the ground, my son does a lot of ground because he's got my grinder, so he does all the grinding. But he'll coarse ground the venison, and then he'll take like 20 pounds of that and take 10 pounds of regular beef, so we have some fat in there. And you get the 70% lean, and you're maxing a third, so you got 90% lean meat, just enough to hold it together, and basically just enough fat to hold it together. And you could do it with pork or whatever, but I've had just 100% deer in the patty, and it doesn't stay together real well. A lot of times I'll put an egg in it to help hold it together, but it's just
Yeah,
much easier to put a little beef in there and go from there, and makes
yeah,
it pretty good.
top quality meat. Hunting is providing top quality meat, and that's we cannot argue about that.
Yeah,
That's for me
yeah,
now. That's the main reason to hunt top quality meat.
yeah, and you go get them. It's like you said. You've got the Cajun areas, all place to let you archery hunt. But I know a friend of mine, he'd go get a lamb, and they'd just go up and grab them, slit their throat and go. It's like, I'm like, hey, you want to shoot with your bow? Go ahead. It's like you're gonna kill it one way or another. Well, you
Yeah,
kill it with the bow, or you go up and slit his throat with a knife. Either way, you're killing it to get it. And yeah, nice thing about it, you shoot him with the bow. And I had actually the doctor delivered a couple of my kids. His family had ostrich, and they go out and they raise them and then they kill them and butcher them. And so he had me and a buddy of mine. We come out, we just shot them with our bows. The hard part with that was if they see you, they run around. So you had to kind of hide so they couldn't really see you
yeah.
and then shoot them. So, but it wasn't hunting. I shot an ostrich, but it wasn't hunting. It was just, I used my bow to kill it instead of, you know, they take gun, shoot it in the head, and well, what's the difference?
Yeah,
It's
it's the same goal. Meat on
yeah,
the table.
yeah. I never said I hunted ostrich. You know, I've had it. He give me a couple snakes, and it was good, but um, I killed an ostrich with my bow. I didn't
Yeah,
hunt
that's
an
this.
ostrich because it was, is it basically, in a pen that was, pretty much it could outrun me. I didn't have to go hunt it down. I just had to hide enough so it didn't see me because it didn't run around.
Yeah, the same goal. Meat on the table. Yeah, that's what I do in here in fenced areas. I just go to bring the meat home. Not it's not hunting. It's just grocery shopping
Right. Yeah, for good quality meat.
for good quality meat. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the main goal.
So, just kind of a recap. What was the name of your guide service?
Wild hunter.
Wild Hunted. Okay.
Hunter. Yeah, wild hunter.
I'll leave a link in the description so if they want to get a hold of you, they can contact you and if they're going over there, want to go Africa, they know somebody that does a good job.
Yeah, that's nice. I will send you a link. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always good to have someone who recommends you, and that's the main way I get my clients. It's mouth to mouth, when the client is satisfied with everything, and that's the best advertising for me.
right. Yeah, that's always good when you do that. And I like to promote businesses, when we're on the podcast. If you have a business, I like to promote it and let people know. And even if it's not archery related, they have a business, let's promote it, let's support other archers out there and whatever they're doing, whether it's archery business or not. And that's always the nice thing because there's so many different skills out there. Because I think you said you're in construction.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I'm.
what kind of construction work do you do?
I'm doing the plastering business, plastering
Oh,
inside and making isolation outside the house, styrofoam on the houses and things like that.
kind of important when it gets cold, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, we need that. We need that because we have cold winters and
Yeah.
it's
It actually helps in the summertime too to help keep it from getting quite so hot.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. That's right. So that's my
Yeah.
main business, but the outfitting is my passion, and I love to do that. And I like to make opportunities to hunters to take their trophies, the trophies of their life, and it's always nice to when someone is happy from that what I provide for him, the hunt that I arrange, and the animal that he was able to harvest from all of that.
Yeah, that's always nice when you have, you know, somebody and that's how I like to promote, people that I talk to and know, that it sounds like it'd be, if I was going over there to hunt, I'd definitely get a hold of you and it's like, hey, let's make arrangements to what we need to do and what I need to bring and yeah, and then get it all arranged and it's much easier when you have a guide, or an outfitter that's going to guide you through everything and sure that over here in the States that you can do a lot of stuff yourself, but you might spend 2 weeks trying to figure out where, like going up an elk hunting in Colorado. Um, you might spend 2 weeks trying to figure out which mountain they're on. Or if you go on a guide, it's like, well, they're right up here. Let's go up here. Let's call for you. And next to know, you got your elk and no time at all. And after all, you go on a hunt, you like to be able to see them and at least get shots. Now, if you don't get one and you got shots, that's kind of your fault. But it's getting the shots.
Yeah, yeah, that's the most important to provide a chance. If you provide a chance, that's for me that's already 100% success of my business of what I'm doing. It's all about providing a chance to have a shot.
Yeah, and that's what we go hunt for is to have a chance.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, when you mess it up, well, that's on you. But
that's on you. Yeah, that's right.
well, what would you tell people that are thinking about coming over to Croatia or Africa or Hungary or something, getting ready to hunt? What advice would you give them?
Hmm. You will enjoy here. The people are very nice and friendly, and they will give their best to uh, you for you to feel like you are at home. And uh, if you want some good trophy quality and something to put on your wall, you should come to hunt in Europe, in Hungary, in Serbia, in Croatia. It's if you want good trophy quality, you come to these countries.
And that's good advice. If if you're going to travel that far, from here from the States, if you're already over there in Europe, then it's not quite as much of a travel. But here it's an ordeal to get from here to there. Going through and making sure everything there and making sure the TSA doesn't lose your archery equipment before you get over there. Or if you're going to go for firearm, they'll lose your guns before they get over there. Last thing I want to do is get there and all of a sudden not have any equipment.
Yeah, but it's always necessary to have some local contact or some outfitter to make all the arrangements for you. You cannot just come and expect to find everything on your own. You have to do all the homework long before you buy your ticket, your plane ticket.
Yeah, do your homework and plan ahead, and so that you're not at last minute. It's like trying to find something last minute, and like I said, don't book your flight until you have everything planned, and that way you
Yeah,
know
and
for sure when you're going.
yeah, and always have to be someone to recommend someone he knows, and it's everything like that. You don't come here just having someone through some advertising. You have to know someone who knows someone or who will bring you here. You don't go just for the advertising, and always choose to have something that is 100%. It's like that.
Good advice for somebody that's thinking about going over there and doing that. And it's bad enough if you go someplace here, even in the States, and you don't have any place to go, and you get there and things change. But it's not like you're driving. You're flying half across the world.
It's like all other businesses. You have a lot of people doing that, but not a lot of people doing that the right way.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
been quite interesting talking to you. It's always a pleasure talking with other archers and hunters, around the globe, and hearing all the different stories and learning about hunting, in Europe is always interesting. There's always different stories, and learning how other countries do it. And then you can say, they can see, there's advantage doing that and disadvantage doing that. And same thing over here. And it's just a lot of fun. I'm talking with different people, and it's been a real pleasure talking with you today. And I'm sure we'll be talking again soon sometime here.
I'm sorry for my bad English. I'm speaking like a Russian gangster, but
Your
but we
English is just
understand each
fine.
other. It was
Your
nice.
English is just fine. So nothing
It
wrong
was
with
ni-
it.
it was nice to talk with you. I will talk with you whenever you want me in your
Yeah.
podcast. You just message me, and I will gladly be your guest.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Just a reminder for those listening and watching, if you're watching the podcast, you'll be able to catch a replay on my YouTube channel, Learn to Fix It Yourself, as well as in the Arch Talk 101 Facebook group. Join that group because we have archers in there that are techs. We got instructors in there. If you're having trouble with your form, take a video, upload it, and we'll take a look at it, give you some pointers. If you want to listen to the podcast, I upload to Spotify and it sends it out to other places that podcasts are hosted, as well as you can go out to audible.com and you can listen to it there for free. And I have a lot of people listen there because it just automatically just adds the next episode when it comes out. So once again, been great talking with you. My name is Roy, and I've been your host on Arch Talk 101, and we'll definitely see you on the next one. And until next time, shoot straight. Have a lot of fun.
Have a nice day. Bye
All
bye.
right, bye.